without the panels, the system generates nothing. You know, we can all have fancy flashing lights on batteries and inverters. We can all have inverters or optimizers and micro, but it starts with the panels.
Yeah, Dan, how are you?
I'm all right. We've just about recovered from our Chinese trip that me and Sarah have been on a couple of weeks. It's I think it's been about 4 weeks ago now that we were together in China, wasn't it?
Beginning of March, yeah.
It was, just about got over my stage 85 jet lag.
I was going to say, is it a case of what happens in China stays in China?
It's not only certain parts of it can stay in China. Everything that I learned about LONGi modules, however, we can bring back.
There was takeaways from it, yeah.
There was some serious takeaways. I haven't actually had a Chinese takeaway yet since being back, but there we go. But no, definitely brought a lot back regarding LONGi modules and solar panels, and kind of talk to Sarah now and to you guys. It would be nice to get a bit of what I learned over to you as well as end users.
Yeah, so let's dive right in.
Dive right in.
Yeah, I think there's been some obviously big news with the China imports and tax.
Yeah, so as of tomorrow, the Chinese government removed the VAT tax relief for all modules shipping from China. So that's around about 9%. So we're going to see an increase in cost, obviously, with modules. And it's a case of anything. How long can a government continue to subsidise an industry that should be standing on its own 2 feet, that's got the capabilities of standing on its own 2 feet? You've got that to consider as well as the price rises for shipping costs because of everything that's going on in the middle. Yeah, silver, increasing silver, although that has come down a little bit. It's not back to where it initially was. And as LONGi, we use silver in our product. TopCon uses more silver, and then the other ABAC contact manufacturer, Eco, uses copper. So you're going to see a difference in prices. You're probably going to get a narrow...
You're solid silver, aren't you?
Yes.
Whereas Eco are copper silver coated, I believe.
No, I think they're more copper.
Okay.
Yeah, we feel from R&D research that it's more durable to use the solid silver. You know, everything goes back to R&D to look at ways we can reduce costs and things like that. So we're going to be beholden to the silver price rise, the tax VAT situation, and the current situation going on in the Middle East.
Quite a few factors there, and I guess wholesalers will probably only absorb that cost for so long.
Well, there's only so much anybody can absorb the cost for so long.
Ultimately, wholesalers aren't going to absorb that cost, are they? They're buying 3, 4, 5 months in advance.
Yeah, so once probably that stock's moved, then you're going to start to see these prices.
We've had quite a positive Q1 with some volume.
I think everyone's had a really positive Q1 for what I personally thought was going to be dead quiet.
Yeah, no, it's been a really good Q1, and I think even going into Q2, we've got a substantial amount of orders coming through to distribution, to C&I, to EPC. So it's positive to see that the VAT situation doesn't seem to have had much of effect as yet, although that could change.
I think it'll have a much greater effect on domestic than it will big, large-scale commercial. Just people that are personally invested into their own money might see it and...
looking at the price.
Yeah, and we've also recently had the news of balcony solar as well, haven't we? Which, can you see the emails coming already? Plug-in solar.
Oh, it's my worst nightmare. Yeah. Absolute worst. When you look at what this industry has gone through over the last 5 years with the push on the PAS document for batteries, the safety aspect, the thought of people being able to physically plug a solar panel into a house, it instills me with dread.
So LONGi won't be bringing any balcony solar out now?
Balcony solar, potentially, because but I wouldn't say it's a plug-in panel, no. We've got the options we've got a balcony solar module for Europe
market.
But it's not a plug-in to a 3-pin plug or a 2-pin plug, no. Absolutely not.
There's a podcast in that in itself.
Yeah, I think definitely. I've seen some stuff this week that's maybe...
That's a whole other topic,
that might be episode 3, one. But
I've seen it all over social media. Everyone's jumping on it as well. It's like...
Yeah. So, I mean, in terms of these price rises, what do you think installers should be doing now to maybe try and safeguard against that? Is there anything they can do?
Work closely with your distribution channel. Obviously, it's you guys and your relationship with your distribution channel for any works that you've got coming up, whether it be domestic or commercial, to secure your product at the current prices they are now. A lot of our partners have taken stock holding.
Who are your biggest partners in the UK?
So we work with different partners in the UK. So you've got Solon based in Liverpool. You've got CCL Components with a branch in Scotland and in Leicester. Waxman Energy over in Halifax. We've got CEF on project basis, City Plumbing, Edmondson's and Midsummer, and then we have some smaller distribution partners that work on a project basis. Recently, Allturn joined the distribution channel club. So yeah, we're dotted around the UK. Everyone works on different types of projects with different panels.
But you can get the panels. We've used LONGi in the past as well as ACO and JA, and you can basically get them everywhere.
There's some third-party resellers as well.
Yeah. I think it was 28 years of making solar panels. Definitely going to find the LONGi somewhere in the UK.
Yeah, I must admit, I mean, I've used them on a few jobs years ago, but I haven't never really got down into the depths of what LONGi is about. And actually, I bumped into you at Waxman, just picking some stuff up, and you'd got some of these panels on show, and you started showing me the rear back contact and how the shading optimization works on that. And I was like, whoa, I need to look at this.
LONGi's never been in the polypanel sector. We've always been in the monocrystalline sector. But looking at the way that the industry moves and how the panels evolve, when you look at a TopCon module and the mechanicals are all at the front of the module, aesthetically, it's not.
So that is a panel that you will basically see the silver lines in front of the
grid
panels.
lines. Grid lines.
So the one thing I took when you called TopCon, in my head, I class that as top connector. So you can see the silver strips
visible
in the face of the panel.
We're BC, so that's back contact, so at the rear of the module. So aesthetically, you get a really good looking borderline LCD black TV screen. If a TV is switched off, that is pretty much what it's going to look like.
I'm looking at one of the sample ones down there, and it's just, like I say, it looks not much different from the TV screen.
If Sarah passes up one of them books, and I'm sure Michael will be able to put a cutaway into one of these books, you can actually now see the difference in these of the two. So that is a TopCon panel and that is a rear connection panel. And you can see how much blacker this one actually is. Michael put a cutaway of that in there. But that is, yourselves and ACO are the only people that are doing that, aren't they?
We're the only two with the patent for rear back contact.
And I'd have said yours are blacker than theirs.
So I've been told. I've never actually physically seen an ACO panel up front and in the flesh, so I can't comment. You know, I do get a lot of people saying, well, what's the difference? Clear differences are probably slightly on the aesthetics in comparison. LONGi's been around a lot longer than ACO have.
Because that is ultimately your direct competitor really in this market.
Solar panels, people say solar panels are much of a muchness, but there's room in the market for everybody. You know, if you've got a customer or if it's the price-driven scenario, there is options out there to have a white back sheet, to have a cheaper solution. We've got the transparent modules, slightly cheaper. They are insane. And then you've got the all black, depending on what you're looking for. But when you start delving deeper into the technology behind the rear back contact, it's a very clever bit of kit. So you have enhanced generation, you have enhanced efficiency, and you also
you've got the record for the highest efficiency panel, haven't you?
It's between us and ACO.
Oh, is it?
It's one of them. It's like a race.
Who's doing this way?
It's like a race. We'll bring something out and they'll bring something out.
That's brilliant for us installers.
Yeah.
I'm all for people having the choice. There's a choice out there.
Spice of life.
It is. And it becomes one of them things, somebody runs out of stock or they've not got any availability, the other person then starts taking the market share, and it goes back and forth. But when you start looking into it deeper, obviously longevity of a company, how long we've been going, the warranties, we offer a 30-30 warranty in the domestic.
30 performance, 30
years product warranty within the market. We've got 60,000 people that work for the company globally.
I've met some of them.
They are in the race.
Some of them are all right.
I'm all right.
Alpa's lovely.
I remember that one. You're crossed off the China tour list next time. So there's 60,000 people and 6% of our staff are within R&D. So LONGi is at the forefront of the research and development of the modules.
And obviously I've been around that R&D centre as well.
Yeah.
I've been there.
I nearly died. Do you remember when I went to step forward and I got cleaned up by a panel coming round on conveyor belt?
No.
Did you not see me?
No.
I went to step forward to have a conversation with someone. I didn't see the panel coming behind me. I was like, whoa. Yeah.
Imagine death by panel.
Death by panel.
I mean, just going about that R&D centre, one of the big things that blew my mind while we were there was the push and flex of a panel.
7 hours.
But it changes every 30 minutes, doesn't it? And it's 6,000 Pascal that they push down on these panels for 20 minutes.
and then
up.
So is this like the IKEA sort of test where you see the
It's to see how they get on with micro cracks.
cracking?
6,000 Pascal, because I googled this on the bus ride back, is 611 kg.
So they'll take some.
So from the centre of the panel to the top corners or the lowest points, there was a good 2 inches of deflection in that frame on the short side,
and not one crack in those cells or glass.
I couldn't see any.
It was, and then were you there when we were around that cage? And it was
the cage that was designed for purely Chinese people. I'm 6'3". The safety barrier came to here, and it was my head.
I was like a little borrower trying to look through. But it was a machine that had these ice balls, and it was a power. I think you can actually Google it. There's videos on YouTube.
Isn't it a 30 mil ball of ice
Wow.
at 30 meters per second, and it is gone.
That's an extreme hailstorm.
Yeah.
We got them to rerun it and keep doing it as well.
And
when
it's
we're all stood
probably
there.
from what, 12 inches from the face of the panel.
And it really, to the point they had air defenders on in there as well because it made such a racket.
I wasn't even behind the safety shield.
I expected snowballs in his eyes.
Yeah, that was a massive takeaway, that they can fire that from rise without a G&T, and the flex that you get in a panel, like you go, 6,000 Pascal, but it's over half a ton.
This is why we can do the warranty we do.
Yeah.
Because we trust the product we're producing.
How many years is the warranty on?
30.
Wow.
On a domestic solution,
That is the top end of warranty,
it's
panels.
When you look as a global company, we have different requirements for different areas, different countries. And a big factor in the UK is aesthetics in the domestic market. So, Mr. Jones down the road wants to have a good-looking panel on his roof. Warranty is a huge thing. This is an investment into your home.
Yes, that is what a lot of people lack, I feel, especially in domestic, that they forget it is an investment.
Yeah.
You do an extension on your house, it's an investment. You put solar on your roof, it's an investment. You buy an electric car, it's an investment. It's about spending sometimes a little bit more up front to invest heavily in the lifetime of that system. You want that system to last 30 years, if not longer.
You want to outsee that warranty.
Yeah.
And that was, when you say about run-of-the-mill panels, I was always of that opinion of, we all buy our panels from Marks and Spencer's. Just get Marks and Spencer's panels kind of run-of-the-mill. But it's coming away and seeing the testing that LONGi did on them panels with that deflection, with that ice, that actually goes, without the panels, the system generates nothing. We can all have fancy flashing lights on batteries and inverters. We can all have inverters or optimizers and micro, but it starts with the panels.
Why wouldn't you? To me, that's the most important part of the system.
And that was one of my biggest takeaways from coming there, Sarah.
You have a £70,000 vehicle sat outside and you put it on budget tyres and you have a blowout.
Yeah.
Your 70 grand car's a write-off.
Yeah. Why
would you put a quality mounting solution in, whether you're doing an in-roof or whether you're doing an on-roof? Why would you put a quality battery in, with grid flexibility for the grid or all these additional features, and then put a cheap
solar?
It's a really good point, actually. Yeah.
Surely that should be the first tick box. Without them, you ain't getting anything in that battery.
It's called solar for a reason.
Exactly. So that to me is the message. I think we need to. There's a level of education that's needed. With every industry, you always have the good salespeople and the bad salespeople. I'm not looking. I've joined the LONGi team in November from distribution of 14 years, and I'm grateful for my 14 years in distribution, and I've trained a lot of people. But going into the manufacturing side, there's so much more we need to deliver to the consumer side of things to educate them. To educate them to make them best informed choices. With the solar system, they are going to be looking at the pounds and pence. How much is this upfront investment? When you look at a standard module to a rear back contact module like the LONGi module, the extra investment at the beginning is not actually that much more.
It's quite marginal, isn't it?
It's marginal. In grand scheme of things, it is marginal.
It's probably around about 40, 50 quid a panel.
If that, and then you look at the fact that compared to a Topcon module with the standard solar modules, they're running at around about, 455, 460 on an all black now. I was at a 480. So you're getting 30 watts higher. So therefore, you could technically take one panel off to get the same size system.
A 10-panel array becomes an 11-panel array almost.
Yeah, and not only that, if you take a panel off, surely you're reducing the cost of the system in the first place because it's less mounting, less panels. Do you know what I'm saying? So initial outlay of cost, if cost is the issue.
If you're just trying to hit a kilowatt P figure.
Yeah. If cost is the issue, you're getting 30 watts per panel more anyway. So technically you could remove one panel and have the same cost as a standard module system.
There'd be a break-even point on that.
Yeah.
But it seems very consumer-led now. They're looking at brands and they're asking for you see them asking for ACOs. But actually,
if I see another ACO system with a SIG energy on the Instagram,
eat, rinse, and repeat. Yeah. But this is the thing. But then when I've never really been into the panels. But then when I started looking into the LONGi and comparing them to the ACOs and cost-wise, I don't see why you wouldn't go with the LONGi. Yeah, I don't know why.
They are there. They're together for me.
LONGi used to be predominantly for the aesthetic side of things. We've come from the Topcon market, so we were in the Topcon market, and we've now moved into the rear back contact market, and that's where we're staying.
Yeah. So we actually have, not far from here, one of my favourite projects is Rockcliffe Doctor's Surgery. That has 36 LONGi panels on it. So I think that was the last time because I think I'll say this quite happily. At one point, probably about 5 years ago, I think the quality of LONGi panels went quite downhill for me, and that's when we stopped using them.
This is where the point I was getting to. So there's always new brands coming into the market. A lot of the time it's opportunistic of where these brands are coming in, and it's due to a fact of somebody else's misfortune that they take the market share. So when people used to say to me in distribution the failure rate of a product,
for me the LONGi issue was a lot of silicon coming out the frames.
So when you look at a company that's deployed 19 gigawatts of modules in 2025, and you've got a failure rate of, say, 0.01, you're always going to have a failure rate of around about that anyway. So whether you do 19 gigawatts or 119 gigawatts, you're still going to have the failure rate of around about the same, but you've deployed more into the market, so it feels like there's more problems. When we had the boom situation with the Russia and Ukraine.
Yes.
And every man and his dog, then bills went through the roof, and we can see this is brewing again. It's bubbling away again. Everyone was installing. Consumers, the demand for the consumer was huge. And we were having so many issues with products of probably quality control. But you imagine these manufacturers had to go from literally zero to hero overnight to increase more production lines. There was lack of raw materials, there was component shortages. Aluminium. And unfortunately, it becomes a quality control issue. So where LONGi was sat sort of 4 years ago was probably due to a lot of that, coupled with, the prices at how everything went. There was a lot of silicon out there in the market, so prices were driven really low.
You make all your own silicon though, don't you?
So no, we
not the silicon.
I would say the 5 stages of panel. The easiest way to explain it is like there's 5 stages of a solar panel. You've got the panel, the cells, the wafers, the ink knots, and then you've got the polysilicon, which is the raw material. We have full control over 4 of those. That is our remit. That's what we do within our facility. Is 4 stages, and the first stage, which is the raw material, we buy from. Some of it comes from Tongwei, which is one of the biggest polysilicon manufacturers globally.
We've done some Tongwei panels here.
Yeah. So we can then offer the full traceability because 4 stages of it we've got full control over because they're ours. We also supply cells and wafers to other panel manufacturers, which is predominantly where our business started. We can then do this full traceability and have full control over everything. So we had an issue a few years ago where we lost momentum in the UK. Other manufacturers came in, took market share, whether it be for traceability or whether it be for the aesthetics and the rear back contact. The company itself has just recently invested quite heavily in the UK team. So there's myself as sales director, you've got Phoebe, you've got Alpa, and we've got David over in Ireland, all from within the industry. So we're out there and we're really sort of pounding the streets, if you like, and speaking to people and pushing the brand because of the capabilities of that product. It is an investment. We want people, if you're going to be spending that amount of money, why not just plug it in and not have to think about it?
Yeah.
Without
which is what it should be.
And for you as an installer as well, you don't want to be going back to site. Let's be honest. No. It's so brutal out there at the minute with you know, some of the one-man bands who are working out there really trying to undercut people, and it's difficult.
Being at that point, I do sympathise with them that you've got to get your foot in that door at some point.
It is hard, but it can be so cutthroat.
Yeah, it can be,
you know, and if you're offering a quality product, you've got no contingency money in that install to be going back.
No.
You know, and as a manufacturer, we don't pay you. People think that there's money in it from a manufacturer. We only pay out in the event that it's a product failure, and that is to change the product within the warranty.
Yeah.
We don't pay you to go back to site. The same as if your TV goes bust, your warranty pays you for a new TV. I had
pay you to unscrew it from the wall.
Exactly. My washer went kaput. It was 2.5 years old. I'd extended the warranty. They worked out how much it was worth, and I didn't actually get what I paid for it in the first place because it had devalued over time.
Value.
You know, there's a misunderstood idea of what this warranty stands for, and it's product and performance warranty. We're warranting the product, not the installation. That comes under your guys' warranties that you hand out as workmanship warranties.
Yes. Yeah.
You know, so it's for people to understand that. But if the end client understands the technology, you guys trust the technology that we're supplying to you, there should be no reason to go back to site.
We've only ever had to go. We've never had to go back to site for a panel failure.
No, I don't think I've ever had to do on installation. I've had, not with yours, but on installation, I've had probably 2 panels that were faulty on installation. But we obviously found those out.
Are you testing your panels, each panel, before you fit it on the roof?
Do you?
Yeah.
His nose is just growing.
Knock the camera over with that one.
But that's why you do tests at the end of the installation.
Yeah, of course.
And that is both times where we found panel failure.
We're really at the minute having a heavy rollout on maintenance contracts. Pay DMH a small fee every month. It'll go on direct debit, and we basically look at it because it's such a small fee a month. By the time you get to month 10 and we go, "Hey, Sarah, we're coming to clean your panel," you're already invested into it. You're not going to cancel on us. Do LONGi see any benefit of maintenance and cleaning panels?
Oh, absolutely. You buy an electric car, would you not get it serviced?
Or washed?
Exactly, or washed.
Yeah.
It's like my husband works in the motor trade, and obviously we live at the seaside. He's a massive advocate for underbody sealing of any vehicle because of salt, because of rust. No, it's like with anything, you have to maintain these things. It's technology.
Is there anything that LONGi recommend on their maintenance for them panels?
Just using your installer. Go back to the installer. I wouldn't recommend any particular product or anything like that. It's a case of just making sure it's cleaned. And maintain just a service. It's a service once a year.
Link in the description.
But I've always said this. You know, why wouldn't an installer offer that as a package?
Yeah.
If you've done a really good job, you can trust that you can offer a really minimal package as a more of a reassurance to the homeowner that it becomes a fit and forget kind of system. And then once a year, you're going to come out, you're going to check everything, you're going to check connections.
Isolators are still working.
Again, it's about how far do you go at the initial install stages. I'm a huge advocate for bird protection and things like that.
MCS standard.
It should be MCS standard. Cable management and bird protection should be a standard because it's prevention's easier than the cure. But if the customer's adamant they don't want it because they don't want to pay for it, and you go back and there's something nesting there, if somebody is regularly checking that system on a year to year, you're going to catch anything that is brewing. The same as a car. If your brake pipes are corroding, you know, the brake discs are going. It is an investment. It's a mechanical system.
The AC connector and an inverter is about to catch fire.
Well, this is it. It is a bit like an MOT, isn't it? That's what you take your car in for an MOT.
Same as I regularly put my wash on a tub clean function. Why wouldn't I? Because I don't want to...
Does always have one of them?
Mine does. It sings to you and everything. I've got a new one. Yeah, it's matte black. It's like it looks like a solar
Top Gun.
I haven't got any grid lines on front. So yeah, it's about, you know, why wouldn't you invest in it? If you're shelling that money out, whether it's going on a finance solution, whether it's going on a credit card, you want that system to last.
Yeah.
So put in a small fee every month, like you would do your phone insurance, you know, your car insurance, anything. You know, maintain that system, because if you look after it, it's going to look after you. And with the price rises we've got coming this year.
But it's not even that. It's when we then talk about panel safety. It'll lead us nicely onto panel safety. Like having bird marks on the front of panels or lichen build up causes hot spots.
Increases the temperature of the module, which it can be
is
extremely
ultimately
dangerous.
what causes panel fires.
I mean, it's muck. You know,
Yeah.
like I say, I live by the seaside, so you get a lot of bird mess.
We can see the seagulls out here now.
Yeah, and so if that lands on the panel, what it'll do there is create that hotspot on that module.
And I suppose when you look at a module and you see where that hotspot, that's only a very fine piece of...
Very fine. Yeah.
So for that to get hot and then break, eventually
it's a
break
flow
down,
of energy, isn't it? It's the
Yeah.
flow of energy. So the energy is trying to flow backwards and forwards through the mechanicals within the module. So with our mechanicals being at the rear, if you do get leaves or the bird mess or anything on there, our cell optimization bypasses what's sat on it. So there you don't get the energy trying to get through and creating that heat. It's energy, it's heat, you know.
Yeah.
So you don't have that hot spot created. Yeah. You just sat with your finger on the kettle. Yeah, it's continuously trying to penetrate through that blockage with nowhere else to go. So it starts to break down the cells, and that's when you can get the hot spots. And there's some videos online that you can watch, and it shows the heat physically increasing of that panel. And you're talking up to 100 degrees, and it is scary to think.
I think we've seen some of the videos when we were out in China.
That's what frightens me about the whole plug-in system of solar. You know, if we're going to put so many standards on product coming into the market,
or MC4 plugs and crimps,
and obviously the bird protection thing, and then we go and fail at the last hurdle by allowing this product to come into the market and just be plugged in by anybody. Frustrates me.
And like you say, if the hotspots are generating on there, and the average person isn't going to know about that.
But if you come out and you clean the panels and you maintain them, the likelihood of that causing a problem is pretty slim.
Yeah, it's like we've said, they are the actual starting point of the entire system. It's inverters and batteries that are the end point, really, but without these,
you're not going to get that power.
Nothing.
It's definitely changed my outlook on it, looking at these, you know, just from that meeting you down at Waxman that day. I started actually really researching into how the panels work and why.
I still don't know how a panel works. I just know they work.
Yeah. But then you want panels that are going to work.
Yeah.
Well,
exceptionally well.
Yeah.
But it's even stuff like LONGi use a thicker glass as well, don't they?
Like interior wafers we use, which can take more weight on them as well.
1,000 Pascal.
Yeah, than a conventional cell.
Yeah.
And do you have a panel currently because there'll be some people who like to do in-roof panels? Do you have anything?
So we've got panels. They've just had the fire testings done. The first round was done tail end of last year. Those are certificated. The next round have been completed for the next lot of modules. That was completed end of February.
Where are they fire tested at?
It's a facility in Belgium called Warrington, believe it or not. So they are putting a rig and extreme heat.
Do you ever get invited out to that?
You want to burn some panels?
Don't have airing.
Yeah.
So they put extreme heat through that to make sure that any of the heat doesn't dissipate through the module and cause a burn, secondary firing, melting of anything.
So that's,
obviously you've got your wood substructure of a roof anyway, so it's put through extreme temperatures.
Because that's always my concern with in-roof. You're taking, in my eyes, taking that fire barrier away, a concrete fire barrier, and then
you can't set fire to a concrete or a slate, can you?
No. But again, it boils down to the panel.
Yeah.
Why would you choose a good panel that's got less chance of having that enhanced heat?
Big advocate for Viridian when it comes to in-roof.
There's obviously you've got Viridian, there's GSE, and then there's the new S4 that's coming onto the market.
Not seeing any of that.
So I think they've opened a facility down, I'm not sure where it is, to do some training, installer training. So because the Part P and Part L is changing for new build, there's going to be a huge push on in-roof system because it's more cost effective at build stage.
Yes.
And then I think it's the following year, the change in the regulations for any extensions, like they did with the car chargers. You know, it became compulsory for new build to have car chargers, but then it was, if you put a planned application as a supermarket for an extension, you have to have car chargers part of it.
Right.
This is, so 2027 is all new build.
Because Part L is currently, you've got to cover 40% of the ground floor square footage of the roof, haven't you, with panels.
Is that what?
Believe it is. So I think if you've got 100 square foot down on the ground floor, you've got to cover 40 square foot of roof space. With panel. That's Part L.
I thought I read that somewhere.
Yeah, and then in 2028, I think it's 2028, it becomes anything for any extension, any planning applications that come in on an existing house for those that have got non-solar. So if you put in to extend your house by another, put a downstairs extension on or an upstairs, you would have to put solar in as part of that planning application, which is positive because, I mean, we've been waiting for this new build sector since 2015.
Well, I came from new builds.
Yeah.
So my background is 12, 13 years of house bashing new builds.
Yeah, well, I remember the feed-in tariff being halved overnight in 2015. Obviously, the industry fell off a cliff because it was built on better investment than an ISA and return of investment as a financial return in your hand cash.
I mean, that wasn't a lie.
It wasn't, but it falsified the industry and it built it based on the wrong foundation.
We still see such a legacy of now.
It's getting better. It is getting better because, as you say, consumers are researching a lot more, end users, homeowners are researching a lot more, looking at brands, looking at ways to not be held to ransom over their energy bills and, you know, they put an EV in or they go heat pump and people are becoming more renewable savvy and it's only going to get better and better.
Do you know what renewables show in your own house then?
Absolutely none.
None?
None, believe it or not. And that is a really bad thing.
I'll get you a card.
Yeah, I was going to say, get in touch. I know a few good installers that might be able to.
So my roof is actually still under warranty. What I just didn't have the money at the time
to do it.
So I've got to wait till the warranty runs out. Up until last year, I had a full EV. I've still got my car charger on the wall, so I've still got my Zappy on the wall. So let me off. I've one tick box there. But no, it is something I am looking into. But at the minute, obviously moving jobs that I did last year and my kids are starting to grow up and leave home and things are just taking a different bit of a priority.
Yeah.
My energy consumption's actually gone down. No EV. So I might not be saying that in June when I get slapped with another £300 to £500 a year.
At home, we're everything. We're batteries, panels, heat pumps.
I wonder what panels you're going to spec on the survey when you go around to do the survey.
I can do my own design, you know.
Well, you're not one of them customers. You've got some.
I've done this research and I know any.
It's down to educating the consumer and making sure they can make the most informed decision. But that's not just your job. It's our job as a manufacturer to deliver that message as well.
That's lovely to hear from a manufacturer because I think it should be coming from manufacturers because I think it has such more bulk behind it than it comes from. Than coming from Mike and myself where...
Well, you look like you're only pushing a specific product because you earn more money off it.
Yeah, maybe.
And it's about...
Which isn't reality,
No, it's not. Because let's be honest, the margins in this industry are so tight. It's a volumes game. Absolute volumes game. You know, when you look at the paperwork you guys have to do as part of MCS...
There's Kim's part of it today.
Yeah, as part of MCS, it doesn't just stop when you walk away from site.
No.
You know, it's the pre-sale stuff, you know, the design, the specification to ensure that you've checked everything for your end customers.
Making
usage.
Panels are
it's everything.
Yeah.
It's everything, you know.
I've literally seen a post today on Solar Facebook page. Why is my installer keep asking for my annual usage? Because we're trying to design a system that works for your home and what you use.
I always say to people, you've got to identify the need and the want. So what you need isn't always what you want. Yeah. So because we're in this field all day, every day, we understand it. We can deal with it with our eyes shut. But when I first came into this industry, I was still under the illusion that solar was just a swizz. I was going to say a con then, but do you know what I mean? It's like, it doesn't work. How does it work? And it actually does work, but it's understanding what works for you. Absolutely. As a person. We all live differently.
Yeah, that's one thing I say to every customer of mine. I am so proud that in 5 years of having DMH now and doing solar PV, we've never installed the same system twice.
People used to say to me, well, how long does it take to pay off? Well, how long is a piece of string? Just because you've got solar and battery doesn't mean to say you leave every light on. You know, you go and then put a hot tub in outside and marine fish tank in because your usage is going to increase. Therefore, it's going to take longer to pay that system off with savings. So it's about living intelligently. Why not, would you think, if you sat with a customer and you said, right, this is your system, this is how long it's going to take to break even on on your return of investment on the system. You know, why wouldn't you want to change your light bulbs? Why wouldn't you want to shave another year off? Make it a challenge. Did you ever, when you drove a diesel car and you get your miles per gallon, challenge yourself on the road
Sarah,
to increase how much miles per gallon you were getting?
I can remember
energy.
being like 17, 18 and having like a fiver to my name and driving all the way home from York, which is the journey you've done today. at 30 miles an hour
to save fuel.
because I had no money to put any petrol in it.
I used to challenge myself. I remember when I first passed my test and I had a Volvo T5 Estate when I first passed my test. Jump valve, 17-inch alloys and tinted windows. I thought it was in like a midnight blue. I thought I was bee's knees.
Yeah.
It was insane amount of money to run it, and I used to challenge myself on the road to get more miles per gallon. And I used to get home and I'd be straight into the computer to see
Trying to work it out.
But it's the same with solar, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's the same with maximising that self-consumption to turn yourself into as pretty much off-grid as you can
I
get.
think when you say maximise self-consumption and into off-grid, I think you're talking of solar PV 24 months ago. I honestly think it's now changed with use of tariffs and AI and batteries, which now
That's an added extra though, don't you think?
It is an added extra.
That is like a Brucey bonus point on the end. If you can have a flexibility with your provider. I don't sit in that sector, and that is down to an intelligent installer giving the correct advice to your customer of what tariffs are out there, because you work within that capacity all day, every day.
But I don't know about yourself, but I really want to get rid of the return on investment calculation.
Do you not think you sometimes become a bit of a financial advisor in this world?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think we're forced into it, aren't we?
Yeah.
I'm an
installer, an electrician, a roofer, a financial advisor, marriage counsellor,
designer.
Yeah.
CAD designs.
Everything.
Yeah. It's really flipped on itself.
Yeah.
But again, it's making sure that your customer is getting the best out of that system, whether it be on a flexible tariff or whether it be switching energy companies. You know, what is right for them, what is their
right
need
for you,
and what is their want.
Well, I think as well, I mean, like you say, it comes back to the panel. If the panel's generating more, if the efficiency of that panel's better, they're going to be getting more out of that system. I know we don't want to talk about return on investment, but
you've always going to have to.
MCS.
But as a financial monetary value, I think it's about the savings. It's about protecting yourself against the price rises. You know, we had the situation with Ukraine and Russia. Price cap increase in June. Average household about £300 a year.
Wow.
If we think that is going to come down, bearing in mind this is June, so this is going to be for probably Q3. If we think that price is going to start coming down when you go into Q4, we're very much mistaken. That is when we have the highest demand of electricity on this grid. Start daylight hours, you know, tumble dryers running 24/7 because
all these heat pumps are going on.
Everything goes on.
So you actually want a panel that will work at lower light,
which is ours. Yeah, starts early on a morning and finishes later on an evening as well.
Which then opens up the discussion over north-facing roofs.
This is where I've actually
gone. It opens up so many more possibilities, and the flexibility of putting LONGi as a product within that home or commercial building, or or a ground mount or
that install,
anything. We've got multiple different scenario products. Whether it be near an airport, we've got the anti-glare,
which are really good looking panels.
It is. It's like a matte. It's like a matte panel.
What I always picture is, the window film you can get for your bathroom window. It's like that, but black.
It's really smart.
Yeah,
really smart. So obviously for the flight path.
They're pulling a load out, aren't they? In
Schiphol Airport, there was a big system installed there. Obviously not used the correct modules. Not our modules was the initial installation. And that's all just been pulled out and actually reinstalled using the LONGi anti-glare 2.0, which is a chemical etching on the module. So
it's not a film.
No, it's a chemical etching. So you do sacrifice some output power slightly and some slight efficiency, but again, the need for that system is the anti-glare. It's not the output power. So it's about having a solution that fits every need. Do you remember when we saw all the multicolored panels?
Fascias of buildings.
Yeah. You can actually have a panel to your company logo colour. They were just up the side of the wall.
So when you look at
I was rubbing them, like, genie.
Look, they honestly look like glass facades. Is what they look at. Yeah, they're really clever.
So do you think that's going to happen where they're going to start installing these on?
I think it will on maybe larger, commercial aspects. So like high-rise offices and that kind of stuff. I don't think in a domestic sector where you and I spend 99%.
They want the black. They want these.
Yeah,
because somebody down the road's got a lovely black panel.
It's
emotional. It's an emotional purchase in the domestic market because emotionally financially you want to save money. So it's a very emotional purchase.
But you've been to work Monday to Friday to pay for it.
Exactly. You know, and it's about weighing it up. Energy bill, holiday, you know, it's hard. You know, economy-wise, it's struggling. It is struggling, but there's going to be opportunities coming out there with finance, consumer-driven finances and things like that. You know,
we're still waiting to see what
Green Deal mortgages.
Green Deal mortgages, I think, could be an absolute no-brainer, especially when it comes to first-time buyers as well.
So
to get
we've
the
got a
interest rates
customer
down.
that's just moved house. We were the third company to survey it, and we were the only one that got in the loft and flagged that it had no roof felt behind it.
Oh gosh.
So we need to re-roof it. Now they've got to live in that house for 6 months before they can apply to their mortgage provider for the mortgage. So that's now pushed that project back 6 months. But we've won it on the basis that.
But you didn't have to be.
No.
You didn't have to be honest.
No.
You could have took that work
and done it.
Yeah.
The same. We get inquiries all the time coming in for other wholesalers wanting to buy the product. I have to protect the market value of the product we've got out there with our current distribution partners. I could take every sale that walks in, but what am I going to gain from that as a manufacturer?
Short-term win.
Yeah.
Short-term win, bit of cash in the bank, but 6 to 8 weeks down the line, I'm going to have a lot of people with a lot of stock all then competing on price. They're going to start drive the price down, lose margin, and then it's going to get to a point where they're going to be selling at a loss. That doesn't give me long-term. And it's, you know, when you look at a product and it sits within the market, you've got to sit it where it deserves to be sat. You wouldn't walk into a Porsche garage or a Tesla garage and ask for Ford pricing.
No.
So
give it a go.
You're not going to get anywhere. You know, LONGi is a totally different product in the market to some of the other brands with obviously the mechanicals at the front end of the modules. You know, credit where credit's due. It's got to sit at a certain price point for the R&D, for the technology, for the investment.
It doesn't just happen itself, does it?
I didn't get up this morning and decide to go to work free of charge, did you?
Yeah.
We don't, do we? Everybody's got to pay to keep the lights on.
Everyone's got kids and mortgages.
You know, we're sat here now, you guys self-employed. I'm on a salary. We're not getting paid tonight, but we're out here trying to deliver a message to people so they can make the right informed decision.
We've got to look
an informed decision.
That's it. Look past that day one cost. Yeah, it's actually the full lifetime.
And I'm just glancing over there now. One thing that we haven't actually touched on is how your cells actually work. And there's a bit of a demo rig that Sarah's brought with her, isn't there?
There is.
I'll show some footage of that, but just explain to a cell that.
Yeah, so if you, like I say, it's got cell optimization within the module because everything's sat at the back. We don't have all the mechanicals at the top end of the module. So if anything sits on the module.
Which is actually shading.
Yeah, shading. You're never going to, it doesn't remove the need for optimizers. I think we need to get that out in the market as well, because when you say cell optimization and panel optimization, if you've got a huge tall building that is going to shade your property next door as the sun moves, you are going to need optimizers. Otherwise, there will be a point in the day where that system's not going to generate anything. What cell optimization does is it prolongs the life of that module by having the ability to bypass anything that is sat on the module, sat on the front end of the module. So whether it be a leaf, whether it be dirt, dust, anything like that, it literally bypasses what is blocking that module and carries on generating. So a standard module works in 3 sections. If you cover one section,
when you look at a cell or a panel, you've got the cells that go up and down lengthwise.
Yeah, so you have it in
2,
3.
2 and 2.
Yeah, you have it in 3. If you cover that on a standard module, that whole section stops generating. Whereas if you cover that on the LONGi module, it will bypass that and carry on. It carry on. Yeah. But then it's not fighting its way through where there's a blockage, creating heat and risk of damage to the module. And worst case scenario, fire. We've got this huge drive on the PAS, got huge drive on the arc boxes, on the safety aspect of the solar.
But actually the module
itself, it surely
as well.
Yeah. I guess it like you say, it starts with that. If you can actually safeguard the module by that technology, improvement in that technology.
There's all these technological advances within the inverters, for instance. So you can have arc detection in an inverter that detects an arc within the system. It can have a rapid shutdown with an optimizer
I think that will be massive. That is the next big thing for me.
Well, it's already come out in the commercial space. Let's be honest. There's a lot of the insurance companies are clamping down. If you don't have panel level shutdown, they're not going to insure that building.
Solar Edge.
How many jobs?
Sarah,
It'll die on.
Solar Edge. I will die on the Solar Edge hill.
No, again, it's
that, and that I've got a lot of money in stocks on Solar Edge, and I'm 79%.
I'm a massive advocate for choice as well, because there's different driving factors behind the reasons why people want something. And sometimes it is financially, and I don't think solar should become a rich man's product
it should be
at all.
possible,
so for me, when you've got Solar Edge, which
I
is
don't think
a
it
great
should be a poor man's product where we're buying it off a shelf and plugging it in.
No, I don't. I think it needs to sit where it sits in the industry, the same as gas sits in the industry, the same as a mechanic.
Place,
You wouldn't go and have brain surgery by a non-brain surgeon.
No.
You wouldn't have an MOT done by a non-MOT test centre. The same as gas, you've got to be qualified to touch it. You should be qualified to touch the solar.
As much as we're trying to push it out.
I just think, it's with the safety aspect, we can make sure all the products are hitting all these safety points, but if we're not making sure the people who are fitting it are hitting them as well,
it
defeats the object.
Yeah,
it totally defeats the object.
It's having that knowledge, isn't it? It's like you say, these inverters have arc fault, but is it switched on? If you're DIYing that, you wouldn't even think to look for that.
But that goes back to what we were saying about service packages as well. Yeah. Going back through it a year later and making sure them settings are still in place or have actually been turned on.
How many jobs have you guys done where you've maybe been called back or you've had a phone call to say, this isn't working, that's working? What do homeowners tend to do? They like to play.
Yeah.
How many times has it been, this has failed, it's not working, and they've changed all settings?
At half a mile from where we're sat now, there is 6 Zappies in a car park, and they were done by another company, and they've been back several hundreds of times, and they never changed the installer password on the Zappies. It was still all 4 zeros. So as soon as we reprogrammed the other week, changed it, I can guarantee they'll never have another issue with them Zappies now.
Because people are touching it.
Yeah.
But they want to touch it. The same as,
it's exciting, isn't it?
That. I just got a new washer. I've been playing with it. It plays music. I know what tub clean function is. You don't know what it is on
I
your
don't know what a tub clean function is.
But you want to play with these things. But again, it's about, say you've got a homeowner whose lifestyle changes.
They've spent 15, 20 grand into these.
They feel like they own it.
They do own it. They've got to play with it.
That's why apps are good.
Yes.
The apps are really good because seeing's believing there, and they get all excited when they're running at 90% self-sufficient.
Yes. Always said the Zappy app is the gateway drug.
I just love how you can swipe it and change what's priority. For me, it's even if you're offering that service package, you might go out a year later and their lifestyle has changed.
Yeah.
You can sit and speak to them at that meeting.
Back to financial advisor.
Different hat on, maybe a suit on, not your work clothes, but go through.
It's true, isn't it?
Go through it and say, do we need to make any amendments to your settings?
You've now got an electric car. You could go on a night tariff, and then you could ring to charge your battery.
You're now working from home more, or you've now, created a nursery. You're doing childminding from home, so you've got a lot more usage. You've got to make sure.
It's not only that. Obviously, we've got estimated generation figures at the start of that. We can then look at what your actual generation is and what your actual consumption is, and we might end up going, well,
actually, well
let's
done,
put some LONGi roofs on. Panels on that north-facing roof.
Secondary system in. Put a hybrid inverter in. It'll manage the AC from one. And the list is endless. But, choosing the right installer is priority, I think, for the customers, the end customers, who will then talk them through what product is best for them.
Product knowledge
and good solid training. It's education of this, not just for people in the consumer side of things, but you guys as well. You're only as good as the information I give you, and your customers are only good as the information you give them. So it's got to start with us all. We've all got a duty of care.
Yeah, we have.
That's why I feel it's important to spend time with people like yourself, Sarah, to get that knowledge.
No, I don't think everyone would say that, especially after China trip.
Yeah,
like the fun sponge.
But
Mona.
It would have took me a lot longer to find out about these panels had I not bumped into you that day. Probably wouldn't have. Well, we probably wouldn't be sat here now talking.
Yeah, this is why it's so important for us to get as much exposure as a manufacturer as possible. To both to installers, to wholesalers. We had a new customer came in and wanted a container of 2 containers of modules, and I saw the email come through, and it came through on Friday last week, and I jumped straight in the email thread and I said, until I've been out and seen you and talked you through the product and everything else, I'm not going to delay your stock, but I want to go through it with you because they've got to know how to position that product. It's not a cost-driven product. It's a technology-based product. So arming people with the right information, the tools, means that they can sell that stock, convert it back to cash, make some money and buy the next container. Everyone's happy.
Yeah.
It's getting that product moving as quickly and as efficiently as possible with a healthy margin that suits everybody.
So that everyone's here in the future to look after it and maintain that product.
Yeah.
I think you've actually just hit on something there. The technology of this is so far advanced that that's what makes it stand out. As a
company that reinvests so much into the R&D, 6% of our revenue goes back into R&D.
I've been to the R&D centre. It's massive.
With over 3,000 people working in R&D.
Yeah.
Alone.
We were talking on camera earlier about how LONGi pay 3 meals a day for all the staff as well in there, as well as put buses on over an hour and a half to go pick them up and bring them all.
So the
And when we went to the other facility, when we flew over and we went to the factory, and did you see the block of apartments next door? So there's an option for staff to live on site free of charge.
Yes.
So this whole ethical side of everything, this preconceived idea that all solar panel manufacturers are trading unethically where the staff are concerned, I was very naive, I think, going in.
We've ate in the same cafeteria as the staff. The rice was nice.
The meals were good. There was plenty to choose from. Drinks, there was yogurt.
The yogurt was a bit
confused by the
ropey.
straw. I was a bit confused by the straw, but
you were confused by the straw. I was confused by the chopsticks. Was that Western doesn't for a fall?
It was like the animal came out. It was like chopstick out. It was good to experience, but I always knew LONGi was a big company. I'd sold the product for about 5 years previously to that. So I knew it was a big company, but I felt like I was living in somebody else's life, walking around there, and it was a couple of pinch me moments on the sheer scale of the capability, even the history when we went into the exhibition centre and there was glass cabinets.
Owns a panda.
We've got a panda called Hi-MO. There was like cabinets of paper cuttings from over the years, from the original of why it's called LONGi.
Yes, because it's his surname. It's a surname, isn't it?
LONGi. It's his surname, yeah. And it was insane, absolutely insane. So yeah, I think everyone will say, I don't want Chinese panels. Unfortunately, that's where everything comes from.
Yeah.
Anything to do with technology, that's where it comes from. We want ethical products. We've got that solution for you. Well, the warranty's not worth the paper it's written on. We've been going 26 years. Let's be honest. Yeah. It's like 19.4 gigawatt capacity deployment last year. It's not going anywhere.
So you probably already outlasted your original panel warranties that you.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And then panels will still be performing the same as they were put in it 29 years ago.
Yeah.
I think the hardest part of the evolve so quickly. So you snooze, you lose. What was relevant last year is not relevant this year.
That's right,
Hence why we've got to keep this stock rotating quick
from
for distribution.
From polys to monos to now back
well, that's it. It felt like last year bifacials were being pushed everywhere. But actually,
this is it. So obviously I was talking to Sarah and Will, what is Will's role in that?
He's general manager for Northern Europe Business Unit. So he's my direct line manager.
He's based
my
in
boss.
Frankfurt, isn't he?
He lives in Frankfurt, yeah. Well, he used to look after the UK market.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
But he was saying to me when we were out there on a domestic roof, bifacials have no benefit.
No.
Other than they're a bit heavier.
Ground mount and flat roof mounting.
Yeah.
Or carport.
Yeah.
But I think when you look at the transparent module as well.
Like you were saying earlier, even like putting like white gravel or painting the roof to actually reflect that.
You get that enhancement at the back of the module.
But there's no benefit to them on a domestic roof. Other than the safety fire feature, I suppose.
Yeah, but you're not getting that. The whole point of the bifacial and bifaciality of that module is to have that enhanced generation.
Yes.
So if you're on a pitched roof, I mean, what is the...
3-4 inches.
you're not going to, there's no light coming through, especially if you've got an all black module.
Could it actually
Where
be,
you getting
I
the,
don't know
where
if
they
it
got,
could
where's the
actually
light
be
coming from?
worse, could it? Because it's not doing what it's supposed to be doing, yeah? I don't know.
You're still going to get you're still going to get, if it's a 480 watt module, you're still going to get the 480 watts, but you're not going to get that enhanced opportunity to get the reflection of the increased.
British roofs just aren't reflective.
British roofs just aren't, let's be honest, made for solar full stop. It's when you look at mounting and you're taking a French or German roof tile hook and you're putting it onto a very British roof, you've got to be a competent roofer. It doesn't make it easy.
No, which, speaking of competent roofing, we're going to mention Mark's Prince 1-to-1 bits that we're both at in a couple of weeks' time.
April 23rd. If you're getting into solar or just been into solar a short time and feel like you need some actual hands-on training and experience.
Yes.
And there will be some other brands there as well. But 23rd of April.
How long are you coming down?
23rd. I think I'll have to check my diary because I know I've got a training session in Leicester on the 24th.
I'm sure you'll be there on the next one if you're not.
But I'll definitely be there on the next one. I think I did see it pop up on socials very near saying, where's my invite?
Yeah, so I'm there, Mike's there, Ollie from Zinc's there, Sam from Oval's there, and you can get hands-on and we'll show you mounting panels on concrete roofs, slate roofs, rosemary roofs.
We're going through the full
Got to be competent on that because it's different, manufactured in different countries.
It's bird protection as well. We were just discussing that today. We're going to do training on bird protection and why to use different systems and how
I don't know how old you are, but I'm bird protection with actual nuts and bolts.
The twizzles.
It's scary when you see some of the pictures on socials and they've drilled into the panel.
So where would LONGi stand on that then of self-tappering?
You cannot put anything into the frame of that module.
So I happen to know,
it voids all warranties.
I happen to know a company that we've spoke about off camera had hundreds, if not thousands, of panels go out, and the manufacturer give them a covering letter to say that actually no, it's fine, you don't need to change it.
There's clips out there that are very good.
There's always been clips out there.
They're very good. I don't see the need to physically drill through the side of that module. It's sheer laziness. And to be fair, a lot of the bird blocker comes pre-clipped.
I hate bird blocker,
but I don't mind it. But it comes pre-clipped.
You've never had to fit it.
I think the metal chicken wire look just doesn't do anything for me. Again, when you're looking at aesthetics on a domestic, to see that running round, whereas if you look at the bird blocker with the sort of fingers, it does look. But then you look at solar skirt as well.
Which is beautiful. You know, solar skirt.
The solar skirt as well, aesthetics.
I think there's a solar skirt one at that top left on that side.
I do think they do look smart. They do look smart. But do not drill those modules, and it scares me. This is an aluminium frame that has got a coating on it to protect that frame from rust and things like that, and then you screw in a hole in it. It's beyond me.
A corrosion point, aren't you? Yeah, for sure.
There we go.
Yeah.
Sign that one off on don't drill into bird panel.
I feel like there's a bit of a clip in that there somewhere. Sarah, thank you so much for joining us.
Guys.
It's been really exciting to learn a bit more about that. Thank you ever so much for watching, and we'll be back again next week. And see you on the next one.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye.